सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम् and I am seated in the hearts of all. From me are memory and knowledge, as well as their absence. I am verily that which has to be known in all the Vedas. I am indeed the author of the Vedanta, and the knower of the Vedas am I. Earlier Bhagavan had said, I, having become the fire, Vaishvanara, abide in the body of beings and associated with prana and apana, digest the fourfold food. So the seeker was not satisfied. So he said, no, I would like to give a higher altar to God. Yes, I do worship sun and moon. I do worship, and not only worship, but I also respect the plant kingdom, and I also respect the animal kingdom, but then I am a human being. Who told me that I am a human being? How do I remember that I am a human being? How do I forget what is important for me to forget? How do I gain knowledge? What is all this happening? Why every being is unable to do so? Why human being is able to do so? All these questions would have led the rishis to further research, and they have come to this conclusion. Vedanta says, I am Bhagavan, over here Bhagavan says, and I am seated in the hearts of all. Sarvasya cha aham hridhi sannivishtaha. I like heart more than the belly, stomach. One can give food to somebody with a kind of hatred or rejection or looking down upon somebody. Take it. If one has a heart, one cannot do that. One with all the love and affection, one can offer food. Heart is very important. Do you have a heart? Yes, I have a heart. I'll have to go and find out. I'll have to go to the hospital to find out whether I have a heart or not. Not really. Every human being knows that heart is the one which makes me, a living being, because the heart is the pumping station from where the blood is being pumped out. It's taken in, purified, pumped out. Purification happens in the heart. So we are on the right track. The objective science is on the right track, right? Because then the veins and arteries, you see, the arteries are bringing the fresh blood and the veins are, spreading it all around. So the main arteries in the heart are doing the function of these muscles of the heart are making it pump, and the blood is, going, circulating due to the arteries, and then the veins. The impure blood is also being taken care, the pure blood is also, all that, and heart is playing the pivotal role in the whole body. One has to be living at the heart level, brain dead, okay, but heart is still pumping, so you can't call him as dead. That important is heart. And then the purification of blood is happening in the heart. Now we have this spiritual heart. Same thing. But at the subtle level, what is that? It is not sufficient that like any other being in the creation or object in the creation, I am also there in the creation. No, it's not sufficient. Every being or every object is because of the consciousness. If you remove the cause, effects cannot remain. This whole creation cannot remain in absence of that which is the substratum, which is indestructible, imperishable, infinite, all pervasive reality. All this is imposed on that. And that is subtler than the subtlest in the creation, therefore it is imperceivable also. And since it is all pervasive, so therefore it is omniscient and omnipotent also. Now, that is now conditioned as this individual being. So this individual being must find out its presence in its own self. In what way? So, yes, the sun and moon are there, so they have the capacity to illumine, to nourish. Here I am as a father, I nourish my children, okay, done. Okay, the plant kingdom has got the potentiality to grow, I am also growing. I have the potentiality to procreate, yes, any animal can, or the plant kingdom, and then the animals are also eating and nourishing the body, so also I am. But then I am a human being, so I also have another faculty which is much more subtler and available only to human species. What is that? That Vivek. Intellectual faculty. To use it for what purpose? To find the divine in me. So, I have to develop certain virtues, which I have. Because my mind is not having only hatred, only negativities, it also has got positivities. But it so happens that because I am self-centered and selfish, so I use my positivities for certain people and beings, and for rest I am not so positive, and for some I am really negative also. So this mixture of both, the higher and the lower currents of thought waves, they go so fast and simultaneously, and then this my discriminative faculty, intellect, is so sharp that due to my inherent tendency, I catch up those thoughts which suit me. So when that process is happening, that means that I am living at the mental level. Now, mind is not the heart for sure. Bhagavan says that I am seated in the heart of beings. So it is the human being who will have to think that which heart Bhagavan is talking about. It cannot be this heart of flesh and blood, because it stops one day and it is put in the fire in our custom, and then it's gone. So it cannot be that infinite reality or Bhagavan for that matter. So what is this heart? So slowly the seeker will find out that, okay, when the mind gets uplifted in its qualities up to the intellectual understanding of discrimination between the lower and the higher thoughts, and therefore does not succumb to the mental level, but starts living at the intellectual level of scriptural understanding of what is righteous, then the virtues start developing in that individual. All the good things that can be thought about, good virtues, you can say good attitude, good qualities, the positive qualities of love and affection, compassion and kindness and non-violence, truth and self-control. You can keep adding, sufficient of politeness. We have done all those qualities which are expected out of any devotee or a seeker, and definitely in a disciple. We have got long lists of such qualities in the 12th chapter, in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Now we are on the 15th. So there is no question of getting confused as to what are the virtues that are expected out of a human being, and when that purity, that is purification. When the purity is complete, then that is the heart, and Bhagavan says, I am there, seated over there in that heart. So as a devotee, I should be interested. Oh, Bhagavan, I have been worshipping you externally, extrovertedly, outside me. I want you in me, not as Vaishwanara, but I want to give you seat in my heart. So Bhagavan will say, hasten slowly. First you develop virtues, be sufficiently virtuous, then I'll take seat in your heart. First you have a heart. If I don't have a house, I'll say, please come home. So I said, oh, okay, I'll come. And then the person says that, then I said, what is your address? So that person said, oh, that is Hotel, what's that? Some name. Hotel Rahi. Hotel Rahi? You said you come home? Yes, that's where I reside. Why? Because I don't have a house. But I want to welcome you home. That won't work, no? So if I want Bhagavan to, I want to welcome Bhagavan, I want to give him a seat. Bhagavan says, I am in your heart. So where is your heart? That is my address. Thank God. Oh God, today I got to know your address at least. Where will I find God? Very good. So Bhagavan said, you will find me in your heart. If you are truly a devotee, you can't resist now to develop a heart. Why? Because you'll be too eager. I want Bhagavan to be in my heart. Let it be the world, the way it is, I don't care. Why? Because what's the big deal? Even if you do good, you will have some 5 enemies. If you do bad, you will have 10 enemies, 5 enemies, 10 enemies. It goes on and on, not a big deal. If Bhagavan comes in my heart, that will be the ultimate. So the program is set now. Oh, this program was set long time back. But every time I set the program, all right, but there are obstacles. And I again become, vicious for petty matters and this and that. When will the day come when I will be absolutely grown out of these petty matters? That is what matters. Nothing else matters. This is the reason why our rishis have introduced so many kinds of pujas throughout the year that remind yourself, look here, your main purpose of this human life is to find your own heart so that you find your own self. Bhagavan is my true self. This selfish I that I am nourishing, nurturing and cherishing and enjoying is not my true self. My true self is seated in my heart. How can I not be virtuous? So, this seeker has said the good. Now, matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. This is important. Bhagavan says, it is by me, this knowledge, the memory. First of all, Bhagavan says the memory, smriti, then jnana, and then apohanam, and also forgetfulness, forgetting. That is also important. Why? See, we have memories on the basis of our past experiences. Past means any life past, several lives also. It can be this life, whatever. Based on that, we carry on somehow or the other. We actually try to refute others' knowledge also because we believe more in our own experience than somebody else telling us something. In that also we become argumentative, whatever. On top of that, a seeker is now studying the scriptures. So the scriptural point of view goes absolutely different than the social point of view. So here, this smriti, this whole memory faculty that I have been living with, will have to change now. There's a storehouse of experiences. And what I read is so different. So I have to change it. When I want to bring change in that, I need to forget also so many things. So this newlywed young bride, girl, now woman, okay. So the mother-in-law said, cook bhindi ki sabzi today, okay. Favorite of every household, bhindi ki sabzi. Ladies finger, okay. So this woman started cooking. So the mother-in-law was keeping an eye upon what's this new one doing. So she saw the different method of that can be cooked in 100 ways. It doesn't matter really. One should give that much of space to the newcomer. Welcome, cook the way you would like to cook. Let's see how you cook. So this mother-in-law was dominating. So she said, this is not the way to cook. I'll show you how to cook. So this one got hurt, but okay, carry on what mother-in-law says. So this mother-in-law showed how to cook bhindi ki sabzi. So the next time this poor girl, she wanted to please the mother-in-law. So she started cooking the way the mother-in-law had told how to cook. But she forgot one or two things out of it. And she came back to her old ways of cooking. How she would have seen her mother cooking. Is it very easy to forget what you have been doing for past 25 years of yours? Right from child upbringing, your mother has brought you up with all her heart and soul, all the nourishment the mother has given you for 25 years, and in the 26th year, suddenly you are supposed to forget everything, just forget it, and adopt something absolutely new. Now send this husband away to moon and tell him to start living on moon from tomorrow. Forget about how you lived on earth. It is somewhat like that. Every household has a particular way of life. Give her time to forget and adopt some new ways. And for that, she'll have to pray. To whom? To Bhagavan. Mattas naitiri jnanam apohanam. If you remember something good, it is because of me. I am your memory. If you come to understand, if you have some knowledge, it is because of me. Dedicate it to Bhagavan, Bhagavan says. And whenever you would like to forget something, you see, this was nothing very bad. It can be a bad incident. It can be a bad experience which you would like to forget. Is it very easy to forget? Not really. Pray, pray, pray. Oh Lord, please help me to forget it. Yes, because apohanam is also, Bhagavan says, because of me. It is the conscious effort. It is consciousness because of which I remember, because of which I understand, and because of which I can forget. My past ways, which were very, very socially oriented, now I have to be trained to think spiritually at a higher level. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is easier said than done. The whole Earth is my family. Huh? Is it very easy? It's easily said by everybody. Everybody says Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is heart. That is the seat of the divine. The divinity is to be found in its full strength and potentiality in infinite manner in my own heart. So, will I remember this shloka? By whose grace? Matta smritihi, Bhagavan said. By your grace, O God, I will be able to remember. Jnanam, how will I understand it? By your grace, O Lord, I will understand it. Apohanam, will I be able to forget the wrong chant, the way I was chanting, which was not correct? Now I have known how to chant it correctly. Yes, O Lord, only by your grace I will be able to forget my old ways and will be able to adopt the correct way. Not only of this, but now I will remind you what we had discussed in the beginning of this chapter, that we have to chant this chapter before meals. So by the grace of the Supreme Consciousness, which functions as my memory faculty, makes me understand what I am chanting and also makes me forget my old ways of life, which had faults, which was deluded, which was on the basis of misapprehensions, and for which I'll have to chant the chapter before meals, because I would like to offer that food which is offered to Vaishvanara with the divine thoughts, for the divine purpose, for ultimately coming back to my divinity, for which I'll have to nourish myself. Vedaihi cha sarvaihi ahameva vedyah. The Vedas are talking about nothing other than Brahman, the supreme reality, not the consciousness which is conditioned, but the unconditional infinite awareness which is independently existent. So, that is what is to be known in the Vedas. Vedanta Krit, Bhagavan says, I am the one who is to be known from the Vedas. I am the one who is the compiler, the composer, the creator of Vedas, Vedavit, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Cha aham, Bhagavan says. Of course, consciousness is important. No, you have to be conscious. You have to be conscious enough to understand, to be aware, to compile, to compose, to remember, to understand everything. What else needs to be known? So, this chapter is taking us to the highest level of understanding of this supreme awareness. Which is beyond conditionings of all kinds.